Hello and welcome to iQuanta's YouTube channel, the place to be at if you are serious about your B-School dreams. My name is Vikrant. I'm your personal coach for all things related to English communication skills and psychological aspects of preparation. And this session is all about guiding you towards 100 percentile in the CAT VARC exam. If you're new to this channel, hey, don't forget to subscribe so that you do not miss out on any of these sessions. So let's dive into it straight away. And towards the end, I'll also tell you the ideal schedule that you need to basically follow every day in order to get an amazing return from your preparation. So when it comes to the CAT exam, for the last few years, the total number of questions in the VARC section is fixed. You get 24 questions, 16 of these belong to reading comprehension, and they have been spread over 4 passages. So 4 passages with 4 questions each, and the remaining 8 come from verbal ability, right? And in this particular scenario, considering that we are talking about 100 percentile, you want to target at least 99 percentile plus, isn't it? So at what score can you get a 99 percentile plus? Well, 99 percentile plus, you can get that at around 44 marks. Okay, but then 100 percentile, right? So if I talk about 99.9, you needed to add another 11 marks to it. So 55 would have taken you very close to that 100 percentile. But then, see, I teach VARC, so I'm a little biased towards it. But the truth is, do you definitely need to be excellent, amazing at VARC in order to get a call? No. There should be one section where you are way ahead of the competition. And in the other 2 sections, if you are as good as the competition, even that would suffice. So even if you're not targeting to be in the top 1%, top 5%, well, you can do that by getting 30 marks. So getting 10 out of those 24 questions right would ensure that you are in the top 5%. Or maybe you want to know, just tell me the top 10%. So this year in CAT 24, a score of around 24 would have led to 90 percentile, and you absolutely definitely need to be 80 percentile plus, because that is the sectional cutoff for a lot of premier colleges. So this sort of is the sectional cutoff for you. So let's just use the nearest round figure. So that's 19, and we generally prefer thinking in multiples of 3. So let's think of it as 21. So you definitely need to get 7 questions net correct, or at least needed that this year. And apart from that, most of the years, this 99 percentile has been around this juncture. So as long as you are getting 13 to 15 questions net correct, you are typically safe and you are in the top 1%. The difficulty level year on year changes, and that also may change these numbers. But that's your target, and in order to achieve this target, you need to prepare and excel at reading comprehension as well as verbal ability. So here is your RC strategy. One of the key things that a lot of people ignore is reading. So you need to start reading in case you haven't, and in case you do read, hey, can I ask you to read more? And not only that, I would also really prefer if you can read a diverse range of things. So if you look at the CAT exam, the passages and the VA questions belong to a wide array of genres. Okay, they can ask you passages or questions based on ecology, anthropology, science, technology, biology, particularly zoology. If I look at the last 5 years, then you have passages from psychology, philosophy, sociology, political theory. So make sure that you bring in a certain amount of diversity to your reading. Now, a lot of people at this juncture ask me that, okay, Vikrant, you tell us to read, but then what exactly should I read? So my typical answer is that, hey, I want you to read long form articles, and I want you to read books, of course, from a diverse range of subject matters. So from where should you go ahead and read these articles from? The answer is pretty simple. You should tap the sources that the IIMs go to when it comes to creating the passages. So some of the most popular sources are places like, or websites like the New York Times, the Guardian, Aeon Essays, Smithsonian, The Economist, Scientific American. These are some of those popular sources. In fact, पुराना डेटा ही क्यों दे, एकदम लेटेस्ट नया नया फ्रेश फ्रॉम द स्टफ दिखाएं. सो CAT 24 की अगर बात करें तो इन slot 1 these were the sources of the 4 passages. So you notice Smithsonian, Economist, Guardian, one extra thing. Then if I take you over to slot 2, again the sources are, so we still had New York Times, but then they also went to bbc.com, they went to nature.com, they looked at Yale Global. So some additional resources for you to focus on. And in slot 3, once again we had the Economist, but then Huffington Post, foreignpolicy.com. This is also a website that has contributed a fair bit of passages over the last decade or so in the CAT exam, particularly over the last 7 odd years. So these are the kind of websites that you want to go to. Apart from that, a lot of passages are actually taken from books, so you would also like to read books, especially from those genres that you are not very comfortable with. So if you come across a subject matter that you are not comfortable with and it also happens to have a lot of jargon, it's a wonderful idea to go ahead and pick up a beginner's book of that particular area. So if you are somebody who's not at all into reading, well, here is something for you. So how to read? So what exactly do we really read for? So in the CAT exam, you basically require these 3 skills. You want to become a faster reader, you want to become a more insightful reader, so you need to enhance your level of comprehension, and you want to retain whatever you read. So every day, it's a great idea to pick up a book where you try to go through it fast. So that segment should enable you to work on your speed. Then similarly, every day for 10-15 minutes, whatever you are reading, read it in such a way that you are able to understand it completely. Now, what can prevent you from interpreting things? Hey, there can be a word that you could not understand. So if it is just a word, a regular word, look it up in a dictionary. If that word happens to be a technical word, a jargon, in that case, Google it. Go to Wikipedia or any other relevant source and understand that underlying concept, and then come back. Or you could struggle because the sentence is very convoluted and lengthy, in which case my advice is put your feet on the table, deconstruct, break it down into individual components, understand every component individually, understand the role of that component in that sentence, and then join them all together. So it may take time. There are days when in those 15 minutes you'd probably be able to read only 5 lines, but we are absolutely okay with it because it's a one-time investment. What you learn in those 15 minutes will remain with you for the rest of your life. So take out that time. And then for retention, I will talk about it some other day when we talk about the main idea questions with each other. So read in order to achieve these 3 goals. And in case you're a beginner and you want some book recommendations, here is a list of books that I recommend to people who are absolute beginners. So these are the 6 books that I want you to read in this particular order. And in case there is some other specific area that bothers you, that troubles you, and you want my inputs on, hey, which book should I read for that area? Hey, drop in a comment down below. I will make a video especially for you so that you go ahead and benefit from your question. So this is where you can actually start from. Apart from this, I want you to master critical reasoning. A lot of people ignore it, but the truth is at least 1/3 of the questions in the CAT RC are basically critical reasoning questions. So all those identify the inference, strengthen, weaken, assumption, all those things. Then master all these different question types, and of course you would want to then, in case I haven't just jotted it down, so I'll write it, I want you to go ahead and practice. And at this juncture, your question could be, where do I pick up these things from? Now you can run around and go to different channels, different places, different books, different sources, and chances are that you may not be able to get a complete lay of the land. The best solution for this is to work with me in our CAT 25 batch at iQuanta. This is going to be easily one of the best programs, best courses that you can get into. And you know what makes us the best? We bring you a lot of relevant content It is taught to you by the top faculty members, and doubts, and then rigorous practice, ICATs, which are our mocks, concept clarity, and all of these things basically translate into great results. In fact, we already have more than 400 students who have crossed 99 percentile this year. We are still counting. Chances are that the number may reach or exceed even 500. And you know what brings us to such amazing results? Our relentless efforts that we put on our students. And we just try to ensure that we take care of every single concern that you may have. So for instance, when I talk about concept clarity, there are plenty of things that happen. So let us say you are somebody who is not very comfortable with English. You'd find a dedicated foundation module called Engineers VARC. Or you could be somebody who's not that great at quant, so we have a non-engineers QA. Similarly, we have a module for LR and DI. Then there's this dual pedagogy where we teach you something and then we take you through practice questions immediately afterwards so that you are able to understand these things well. And these are the kind of things that eventually allow us to give you that edge over your कंपटीशन. सो इधर उधर जाकर के यार पता नहीं कहाँ कब कैसे मास्टर करोगे, बेस्ट तो ये कि साथ में कर लो. अदरवाइज it's still your choice. You know how to go about doing it. And when it comes to verbal ability, well, you see there are these 4 windows. They represent 4 different question types that have been asked over the last few years. So we get para jumbles, we get paragraph odd one out, we get paragraph summary, and we get this question type. You can call it paragraph completion, you can call it sentence placement. You need to go ahead and become good at these areas. Now, how do you go on to become good at these areas? Well, the first thing that you need to do is read, but thankfully you're already doing it for RCs. So whatever you're reading for RCs, go ahead, do that. But there is one area that happens to be a little more frequent in the VA section, and that is linguistics. So read up a little more about languages. And that, if you add it to your reading, if you specifically focus on this genre, this subject matter, I think you would be very well-rounded. But then, you know, the heart of the VA in the CAT exam is these paragraph-based questions, which is an indirect way of testing your composition skills, testing your writing ability. And you notice when they shortlist you for the next round, they literally make you write an essay. So it's a precursor to those. So every day, take out some time from your busy calendar, even if it is 5 minutes. Sit down and write. And if you do that, within a few weeks, you will notice a dramatic increase in your insights. Apart from that, you can of course learn the techniques that allow you to achieve greater accuracy in these question types through my sessions. And once you learn that, thereafter, I would advise that you go ahead and practice these questions regularly. Okay, now what kind of daily plan should you have? So if I summarize, what have I really advised to you? You need to work on RC, you need to work on verbal ability. In between, we also have critical reasoning. So here is a plan. Read for 25 minutes every day, at least. Apart from that, spend 50 to 60 minutes to critical reasoning. Okay, so run these two things parallelly. Third, practice at least one RC passage every day, where the average should be 10 passages every week. Right? So this is how you start. Now, once you are done with critical reasoning, once you have mastered all the question types, it may take 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Once you do that, switch over to verbal ability and start devoting those 50-60 minutes to these paragraph-based question types, starting with para summary and then moving over to para jumbles and then going to odd one out and then to para completion / sentence placement. Right? Apart from this, in case you are somebody who is not very comfortable with English, it'll be an absolutely great, wonderful, fantastic idea to start devoting 15 minutes to vocabulary every day. So at least 15, at the max 30. You can look for a vocabulary strategy session that I've taken on this channel, and that can give you more details about what to do in those 15 to 30 minutes. So once again, if I were to recap, you are reading, you are going through RC passages, you are going through either critical reasoning or verbal ability, and in case you need special effort, you'd start devoting more and more time on vocabulary, 15 to 30 minutes every day. And if you are sure that you are going to write these other entrance exams as well, so you plan to sit for NMAT, SNAP, ZAT, CMAT, Maharashtra, CET, etc., then you also would do well by picking up a grammar book and going through 7 pages of that grammar book a day. So if I combine it all, I think at the beginning, in the next month or so, you would perhaps be devoting close to a couple of hours to English every day. But that's the ideal. Aim for that. And if you do that, I won't be surprised to see you at the top when the results come out. So that's it for me. In case you have any more questions, drop them down below and I'd love to help you. Start executing. Wherever you are stuck, reach out and we'll help you get unstuck. That's it from me today. I'll see you in the next session. Until then, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Have a great day ahead.